Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us again on this episode of If Walls Could Talk. Today is a very, very special episode because we are on site at the 2022 Intex Expo, Day 2. And I am here with none other than Lydia, aka DrywallShorty. Lydia, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
Yes, of course. I'm very excited about this interview. Lydia is kind of a big deal for those of you who don't know. So why don't you just tell the people a little bit about yourself, specifically where does the name DrywallShorty come from?
Definitely.
Maybe an obvious question, but there could be a better story.
So when I was in high school, it was always my nickname. It was always hey Shorty, or that's what all my friends would call me. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of a fun thing for me. So when I started Instagram and started doing that stuff, I was I should totally get that tied in there somehow, mm-hmm. and I turned into DrywallShorty.
That's
so
perfect.
I drywall and I'm short. That's my thing.
So what kind of work do you do then?
We do primarily new residential. So we finish around 500,000 feet of board a year. And then we're mostly doing new residential. We'll do some commercial in there, but mm-hmm. Where I live in Bozeman everything is new residential. We can't have enough right now.
Right.
Construction's crazy. So we're booked out 2 years with new residential.
Right. And so you are pretty prominent on Instagram. So why don't you tell me a little bit about when you decided that you needed to be, I try to stray away from the word influencer even though you are, but when did you decide that Instagram was the avenue that you had to take?
We kind of just started goofing around with it. Ryan, my husband, was like, you should get on there. And I'm like, who's going to want to watch me do drywall? You're going to kill me. You're kidding me. It's like watching paint dry. But lo and behold, it is actually very fascinating.
Yes.
It's amazing the people that you help because the industry is so limited. You only can learn from the people that teach you.
Right.
So what's really cool is all of this video and all of these audio and all of these just kind of teaching avenues have opened up so much. And I get messages from people that are like, man, I've really been struggling using this tool, or I've been struggling doing this, and it's been so amazing to see the reach and how it's helping people, or man, I didn't think about holding my knife at that angle, I've learned a lot from other people too, so it's been an amazing avenue to learn and grow as a finisher.
Yeah, absolutely, and it also appeals to our younger generation, which we need them to get into the industry. Wink, wink, I'm talking to all you people. So it's very important that you do have that presence. So what are you doing here today at Intex? Are you just walking the show floor? What are you looking for out of this?
Yeah, so Trimtex brought me down. I'm really involved with Trimtex. They have some awesome products. They actually just released a new roll product. It comes in 275, which is pretty sweet, or 2.75. Mm-hmm. It's a new product that they're launching this spring, I believe. So I'm down here with those guys.
Cool.
And I'm hanging out with Fran and Joe. If you know Joe's an amazing guy. He's the owner of Trimtex. He's so fun. So I'm down here with those guys, and then we've just been walking the floor and just kind of hanging out, getting some footage for Build Show and then also Fine Home Building. So it's been fun.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah.
So I know we have to wrap up, but I just like talking to you. I like hearing more about it. I have so many more questions. The next one being is, do you feel that with your Instagram presence that you have drawn a younger generation into it, or have you had any conversations with people who have changed their mind and said, I maybe do want to pursue contracting?
Yeah, absolutely. I've had so many people be like, I didn't know I could do this, or you make it look easy. And I have to also explain, I've got 19 years in the field, so I do make things look easy. It's what I do all day, but you can get there. Don't stop. And I think just seeing somebody that's a woman that's really had to fight. I've been doing this for a long time, and it hasn't always been easy. We've kind of had to be trailblazers. I mean, I would be I'm still usually the only woman on site. Yeah. But back then, 19 years ago, it was super rare. Yeah. So, I think it's been really cool to just see women be like, man, I really want to get involved with this. Yeah. I get a lot of messages of, I would really like to enter the trade. How do I start doing this?
Wow,
and what are some avenues I can go down? Yeah. So that's been fun to kind of encourage people to, start looking around and stopping by, and maybe just stop by a site and talk to somebody.
Yeah. I think that's a great way to end the podcast. I hope all you women out there are encouraged the way that I am by Lydia. So Lydia, thank you so much for joining us. But how can our readers, our listeners get in contact with you? Where can they find you?
Definitely. So you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook under DrywallShorty, same hashtag all the way across. And then emails DrywallShorty@gmail.com. So keeping it simple. We're all the same.
Perfect. That's what we like. We need simplicity in this day and age. And for you listeners back home, you can find us on www.wconline.com for more content like this and more. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.